And we are live once again. Hello and welcome to the Prince Magnum channel where hot rodding and romance do coexist. I'm your host, Prince Magnum. Welcome to another one of my lives. Um, we're going to kind of wait for everyone to kind of file in, and what we're going to do is we're basically going to talk, even though we're not doing car shows right now, for obvious reasons. We're, kind of in that wait mode, waiting for all the quarantines to go away and everything. So basically, what we're going to be talking about in a nutshell, if you're going to be doing car shows for the first time, some things that you're going to need. Um, I wrote a list. And we got some people in the live. Thank you guys so much. Thank you for joining the live. Basically, if you're doing car shows for the very first time, what you should take besides a project car that you've been working on. Kind of, how, basically it will allow you to present your project in the best possible light. So I'm going to kind of throw some tips at you guys that, because I know when we talked about the trophies the other night, everyone got such a big kick out of seeing those trophies and learning what, you know, and hearing the stories. Well, now I'm pretty sure there's some people now that are like, well, I want those stories too. So I'm going to throw some stuff out there at you guys, kind of let you see what it is that that I take with with us, and when Princess Bay, and I go to a car show, even if we're showing just Project Spirit or we're showing both cars, what we take to those shows to kind of show off, to show off the projects. So that's what I'm going to kind of walk you through what you should honestly take. Um, for the record, um, there are some people that when they do the car show things, they'll get out. I mean, it gets ridiculous what they will take out of the trunk of their car. They'll literally take out like these battery operated blowers and everything else, and you're sitting there thinking, good God, man, there is no need for all of that stuff. And these people are usually they went and bought a new vehicle. We're talking, within the last decade, that kind of new, and they have sunk probably close to about $50,000 in this vehicle just for show. It is not fast. It is just for show, and this thing only goes out on the weekend. And they have that kind of job where they can do that. And no, that it gets. I see that, and I've seen young people get very, very discouraged, thinking that I can't go win trophies like this person because I've got to have this kind of money. And no, you don't. Um, I've been, for 4 years now, I've been showing Project Spirit as an up and coming project. And if you, keep coming to the car shows in the local area, or if I show up somewhere, you can kind of see, oh, I seen her at this last show and she looked like this, and this is what's changed. And I've been doing that for, actually coming up on 5 years, we've been doing that. Um, so it's one of those things that as time goes on, people continue to see the changes. So you don't have to have, thousands of dollars just falling out of your hind end. I'm just going to show you guys what we take with us, and even some kind of ways that you can kind of cut corners on that stuff, because you do not have to spend thousands of dollars just to win. Hey, what's going on, Sean? You don't have to spend thousands of dollars to enjoy a car show. Okay, that's just kind of how it is. And I don't know where people get that idea. So, Sean, you're the first one to say something. So, at any point, anybody else who joins the live and has any questions, whatever, we'll do our best to answer those. And be sure to check out our people in blue. They're fantastic people, good people through and through. I trust them when I'm going live, and I trust them so much that's why they got the blue wrenches. They're amazing people. So anytime you see any blue wrenches, be sure to check those folks out. They're amazing people. Uh, Oftentimes creators themselves. Okay, so the first thing. Yeah, well, the um, hang on here, 71 Mustang. The you can get out there and grab a new one, okay? Yeah, just pretty much anymore nowadays. Okay, I'm gonna think different. I'm gonna tell you a little secret. You know that Project Lena is a 2003 Pontiac Grand Am GT. Oh, it's not too expensive. If you could pick up a vehicle that's in decent shape, and it doesn't have to be an old car, okay? A lot of people think that nowadays. Pick up a vehicle that's in decent shape and just start from there, okay? And when I say decent shape, Project Lena is in decent shape for a 2003 Pontiac Grand Am GT. Most of the time, any Pontiac from the early 2000s is in really poor shape. Okay, most of the time they're falling apart. The owners have rode them hard and put them away wet. If you know that, if you understand that term, basically they're very tough on their vehicles. They do not maintain them, and then they wonder why in about 5 years they're falling apart. Most of the time, those front wheel drive Pontiacs are in really bad shape. Project Lena is one of the few in the proud that's in really good shape. So just pick up, shoot, nowadays you can go right over to a junkyard and find a late model Camaro or a late model Mustang that all it needs is an engine swap. A lot of times now. So you could pick up your project car relatively cheap now. As a matter of fact, it was just the other day I actually found a fourth generation 2001 Camaro. I think I can't remember if it was Super Sport Z28, something like that. It was pretty much ready to go. Just needed a little TLC, and it was pretty well ready for show at just a couple $1,000s. It was like $3,000. So if that gives you any idea, you don't have to have the 70s classic or the 60s classic. You don't have to have that anymore. I know back in the 90s when you didn't show up with a new vehicle. If you showed up with a new vehicle, they said, get that dang thing out of here. But nowadays, I see people, you can go right over to a used car lot now and buy one and just detail it a little bit and make it sound good. So basically, you can buy the car and still be on payments at a used car lot or pre-owned, and put it and put the bare minimum of maybe a couple $100. And we actually showed that you can actually set your car up for $75. Okay, we showed that that is possible and did it with peelable paint, and do the car shows, and immediately you would be able to hold your own against the ones that have sunk 50,000 in it. So it doesn't have to be that way. So, and I'm going to show you guys basically some of the stuff that we take when we're actually going to the car show, kind of our regiment, if you will. And believe me, it's not as bad as it sounds. Actually, most of it'll fit right in a milk crate. Most of it'll fit right in a milk crate. It's ridiculously easy. Okay. So that should give you an idea. And you can show these vehicles as up and coming projects. You can do that. Just pick your class and pick it well. Okay. So that's going to be one of the first things I'm going to tell you right out of the gate. If you have the Camaro, the Mustang, you're basically going to be in that class. You might as well hang it up. Yeah. I was coming home from work probably. Uh, but yeah, uh, I hope she looked good cruising down the road. And I wasn't filming. I wasn't filming that day. I've been wanting to. I kind of got into the habit for a long time. Everywhere I went, I would have that camera, that dash cam going. And then I got to the point where I was deleting hours and hours and hours of footage. There really wasn't much to take from it. So I just kind of got tired of that. And it's like, if I feel like filming that day, I will. So just, You recognize the old girl? Well, there's not too many of those roaming around anymore for some odd reason. They used to be everywhere. Mavericks used to be everywhere. I think I'm about the only idiot still left in the state of Missouri driving a 70s Ford Maverick four-door. I think I'm about the only idiot still left driving one every day. All right. So basically, the first part of the regiment should be done the day before. You could do it after work, or you could do it kind of, uh, before depending on what time of the day you work. I usually like to try, because I work real early in the mornings. I work at like 4 o'clock in the morning to 11 o'clock in the afternoon. So what I will often do is as soon as I get out of work at 11 o'clock, if I know I got a car show the day before, I'll take her over to the car wash. Unless I got everything here to do the car wash at home, I'll do everything right here at home. I'll come home, I'll clean her off real good. Hey, Fleming, the ultimate grave taker. Welcome to the live where I'm actually talking about um, the regiment and the things that if you're doing a car show and you want to do it on the budget and still take home trophies, I'm giving away those tips today. Um, Knowing full well that if no, I have not. I know the one that's next to my job. For a while, I wasn't a big fan of it. Um, I still like. I don't. Okay, right out of the gate, I'm gonna say it. Do not, do not. If you're going to wash your car, don't take it through the automated system where you pull in and it kind of rolls you through and does all the stuff for you. Do not do that. Okay, leave that for the people that do not care about their vehicles because those brushes. And I know the guy who works over there, and he works his butt off. He works very hard, but those brushes pick up so much stuff from other people's vehicles. And really, you would almost have to take those brushes off after every time it was used and put new ones up there and then wash the ones that were on there and just keep rotating them like that. The problem is that you can't do that. It's too time consuming. It's not feasible. Okay. Right, right. Your best bet is go to the one, and I still like these kind of car washes where you go in, you get your change, and you go over and you do everything manually. I love those. There's a reason why. Middle Street, Middle Street. Are you talking about the one over there near the case and the Henry House AA Clubhouse? Because if you that's that one I stood. That's the one I use. Yeah, the one over there in downtown Farmington, over there by Casey's in downtown Farmington. I think there's like a jewelry store over there now, near that area. That's the one that I use when I'm in Farmington. That's the one I typically use because of the fact that everything is automated. Um, everything, not everything. I'm sorry, not everything is automated. Basically, you do everything by hand. That's why I do that. Um, Now for vacuuming out, the one by work, that's where I go. But since they've made some changes with the one, yeah, self-serve. But the one over there by my job does have a self-serve. Initially, I didn't like it, but it looks like they made a lot of changes to it. Take your own. Yep, exactly. Gosh dang, you're right on. See, these are the tips that people need to know. Take your own brushes and everything. Preferably, I actually will keep because we're in the apartment complex that I'm in. There's a spigot out down by the far end of the building that way. Usually where I park Project Spirit. And what I will do is I will get a hose. I usually keep my own hose, my own sprayer, my own buckets, my own sponges, um, and I said, and notice I said buckets. That's plural. And there's a reason why, and I'll get to that right now. What I will do is I will have 2 buckets of soapy water, and Yeah, you're kind of stuck going to the car wash. Well, since you're in our area, you know where to find me. Come over and we'll do it together, that sort of thing. Um, and I don't buy the expensive car soaps. Believe it or not, what I found works is just regular dish soap. It removes all the muck and the grime. That works the best for a home car wash. I've not found anything else that does anything better than Dawn. Dawn is a good one. Believe it or not, Dollar Tree liquid dish soap will do just fine too. Dollar Tree is my lifesaver on car shows, and you're going to see that in a moment. But you wash everything down, and I've got the two bucket system that I prefer to use, and I'll use dish soap in both of them. The first one is I will put my sponge in that, soap it down real good, and then I go over, start going, after I spray the car to kind of wet everything down, then I over the car soaping with a sponge of my own, nothing abrasive, because we're talking, you want to try to keep the paint as pristine as possible. Well, I'm glad you just decided to show up regardless, okay? It means the world to me that you're here. But basically, I'll start soaping the car down. And as I'm soaping the car down, when I remove the sponge or whatever I'm using, I actually prefer almost like the hand mitt sponges, because I can kind of squeeze it out. But then when I go back up to, I'll go so far, I might go like part of the panel, that particular panel, whatever the case may be, I'll go so far, and then I'll stop, go to the second bucket, stick my glove down inside that, and squeeze and make sure that I try to get as much of the dirt out as possible. And there's a reason for that. The grit and the grime and all that will act as almost like sandpaper to your paint. So you'll actually see over time where paint will fade. Or you'll start getting that surface rust through your vehicle. And this is something that you should do with new vehicles. And then what I will do is I'll pull it back out and then drop it back in that bucket, the first bucket. Once I've rinsed, I'll go to the first bucket and do it again, and then just keep going like that. It is time consuming, but eventually over time, you kind of build your own regiment, and you get really quick at it. So, a car wash like this will take a couple hours to start with, but then you'll get down to where it's like 20 minutes. It won't take you no time. So you'll go over the whole car, and then you'll spray. Yep. That's always another one. Dirt catchers kind of help, where you can kind of put it down in the back of the bucket and kind of scrub at it. Yeah. Of course, there's another little secret. If you can't afford that, a lot of times you can just kind of cut out, like use like an old screen, for like your windows, for like your screen windows. You can fit that down in there too, and it'll work kind of the same way. Little secrets. You guys will learn from me on this. But then you get the whole car clean. Now, I'm a firm believer. If you are only going to be doing like club racing, drifting races and drag races and stuff like that, it is perfectly okay to paint, have painted painted black wheels. Perfectly fine. Do the whole car in flat black if you want. Yep, cover off of an old fan. That'll work too. You guys are getting the idea. Thinking outside the box, again. Um, so, you get, if you will, you know, that's perfectly fine. But I'm a firm believer that if you're going to show it, it's got to have some flash to it. It's got to have a little bit of flash. It's got to have just a touch of chrome or a touch of polished aluminum, something that kind of the sun can grab hold of and you go, ooh, pretty. That's just my belief. Okay. So even if you got a late model car and that sort of thing, and you're showing it chrome, polished wheels, something like that, definitely a must. Um, don't just spray. don't just spray down your wheels with flat black and think that it looks good. That is more of a function sort of thing. When you're doing car shows, you got to think a little bit more flashy, you know. So think about it like that. So the next thing that we will do, we will wipe down the whole car with microfiber towels after we're done rinsing all the soap off, and spend time spraying that soap off. Okay, do not let it stay on there. It will show up at the car show. So spend some time, make sure you get all the soap off of it. And then once you are done with that, the next step is, of course, polishing any chrome that you've got. Spend a lot of time on your chrome. And one of the things that I still use, and I am a firm believer in this stuff, is yes, I still use Mother's, mag aluminum polish, and I use it on my chrome. I use it on everything. That basically all that shiny surface stuff, I'll use it, and she always looks amazing. Okay, trust me. Those old bumpers shine. We're talking 45. Got a jar in the toolbox. You get it. You get exactly what I'm talking about. And it's great for polishing up stuff. If you got chrome on the engine, I mean, you really want that sunlight to grab hold of that stuff and just make everyone go, ooh, ah, pretty. If you want to do that, keep some of that stuff on hand. I know some people, I tried the turtle wax polish at one time for doing chrome and all that, and it did okay, but it just didn't have the shine that the Mother's polish had. So I mean, it's just an opinion. Use what you like. But honestly, I have like this whole regiment that I will go through. And literally, when it comes to polishing wheels, if there's any surface rust, immediately I knock it down with I still knock it down with steel wool, get all that off of there. Um, and once that comes off, the next thing that I do is I start polishing. Using the Mothers, and I will kick that on. Hey, what's going on, gamer? And I've been missing you, buddy. I'm glad you came into live. We're talking about car show stuff. I mean, we can't do it right now, but we just gotta. Oh, A&R's here, man. All you guys are popping in. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for being here. Appreciate that. So it's going good. There's rumors that my area is going to be under quarantine soon. There's rumors of it. Nothing concrete yet, but I figured we're going to go live today, do this one, and kind of talk about some of the stuff that that um, I don't know if everybody. I know a few people have said that they've gotten notifications. A few people said they haven't. I know Princess Faye gets notifications on her phone when I go live, but that's about it. Um, you know, so I figured today we're going to talk about, basically I'm going through the regiment that I do for car shows. You don't have to have, $50,000 of, on the car, and you don't have to have, thousands of dollars and stuff to keep it looking that way when you go to show. I hate how people do that. So once you get her all polished up and everything, and get her looking good, and you're happy with everything that you have done to your project for that day. One of the other things that I do, um, I do keep this type of window cleaner on hand. I'll be honest with you, I'm not a huge fan of it. I will tell you the reason why. A lot of the stuff comes with really awesome. We'll have to. Got to get hooked up with them. Have to hook up with them. I'm sure he's got some tips too that blow your mind. Um, but I'm not a huge fan of this type of window cleaner. It comes with like ammonia. Um, I use something like this. Believe it or not, because it foams up, and no ammonia, no vinegar, nothing like that. If it gets on your paint, it'll ruin it. This is the stuff that I like. I love this stuff, and I have to get more because we use it so much on the cars, on the windows and everything. Having a four door, both of us having four doors, because we use it on the outside, we use it on the inside of the cars, on the windows on the inside, because I smoke in my car still. So you do all of that, and I mean, you'd be amazed how those windows look. As a matter of fact, after doing one car show, I was at work like a couple days later, and one of my lady friends, who is now back in Oregon, of all the places, um, and she's like, "Are your windows down? Because it's getting ready to rain." I said, "No, my windows are not down." She's like, "What?" And went out and she's like, "They're up." She's like, That is the cleanest windows I have ever seen. I need to bring you over to my house." It was like that. And I showed her what I use. It's this stuff right here, you know, because I really don't like this. I don't even know why we got. Oh, that was right. They were out of this stuff here. Okay. They were out of this stuff. So that's what we do. Okay. And then once everything is cleaned up, the interiors have been vacuumed, and maybe done some light, maybe done some shampooing, stuff like that. You're done. Okay. You do everything the day before, because like I said, I usually get out about 11. I'll stop by someplace, get them all get everything vacuumed out, move all the tools out of the car, or whatever the case may be, clean anything up that I need to clean. Wipe down the interiors, all that. I know smoking is bad for me, but every time I try to quit smoking, I always want to start drinking again. So, Sober Man and I had a long conversation about that. He said, I would prefer you to stop smoking, but let's worry about the one that's going to kill you the quickest." He said, Not that that's an excuse to continue to smoking, but you should consider stopping." And he said, "When you're ready, we'll talk about it." Okay. So yeah, I admit, smoking's bad for me, and even these are just about as bad. But I'll be honest with you, it's a hard habit. Congratulations, congratulations! You keep doing this, all right? And I'm going to tell you right now. Think different. I'm going to keep doing. Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, by all means, send me the link. I'd like to hook up with this guy. I'm sure he's got some amazing tips too, and maybe share some ideas. Um, think that especially for you, I'm gonna go live once a week at least, even after all of this is said and done with. I'm gonna go live at least once a week, and we're definitely going to be doing sober talk. Okay. You haven't smoked for 2 years? Yeah, well, it's one of the things I'm working on. Um, so now that we've covered that, okay, let's go into the regiment that you're going to see when you get to a car show. And this is a pretty commonplace thing. However far away the car show is, um, you know, however far the car show is, you're going to go there. Okay. And of course, like everybody, you're going to have to back into your parking spot. If you have a little difficulty with that, have someone with you that can kind of help you back in. Princess Faye and I will do that for each other. We'll pull in, or we'll have people with us, and we'll get out together, and then we'll have someone kind of help back us in. I'm pretty good with backing up with my mirrors, but every once in a while, even I struggle a little bit. Roll down your window, back in, because that's just kind of what's expected of you. Um, if I'm just going somewhere, I'll just pull in, screw it. But when you're going to a car show, they just kind of expect you to back your car into your spot. So if you have difficulty with that, which, right? Support each other. That's what's so awesome about this. Anyhow, but you're going to pull in, um, and the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to go up and register your car. So have your entry fee ready to go. They're going to ask for general information. Um, they're going to have this kind of general information. What your make and model, year, make, and model of the vehicle. Any special packages that were put on the vehicle. Project Lena, 2003 Pontiac Grand Am. She has the GT package, so you need to mention that GT package. They're probably going to ask for engine size and type of transmission. You're going to put that on there. They're going to ask for basically, if you have to leave the car show early before they're handing out trophies, they're going to ask for a way to get a hold of you. You might even get entered into a drawing, so they're going to need your information. Don't be afraid of that. And then, of course, they're going to give you a bunch of stuff to take with you. Okay, kind of that door prize stuff for showing up at the car show. Just kind of expect that. And then while they're at it, they're going to be handing you flyers for more up and coming car shows they want you to go. Right, right. Um, the, I'll have to I need to start putting up on my community on the community post. I need to start putting up some of the car shows that I've been at where there was just amazing video footage. Like uh, the last year I was able to show Project Spirit. There was some awesome video footage that we came back with. I am not kidding you. It was beautiful, beautiful cars. There was even this one 58 Chevy Impala at the Jackson, Missouri car show for their 4th of July. And it was a replica of the American Graffiti 50, the one that Ron Howard drove. It was a replica of that. I was like, I looked right at the owner. I said, American Graffiti. And he's like, oh my God, you are way too young to know that movie. I said, I am not that young. I was 38 at the time. And I said, I know American Graffiti. That is a gorgeous replica. I'm stunned. It was beautiful, beautiful car. I should have gotten more footage of it. I should have gotten more footage. But it was beautiful. You guys would have loved it. So after you get registered, right, right, I'm telling you. Oh my God. Some of those cars that you see, I mean, beautiful. Um, at the one in Jackson, there was also a 75 Grand Torino. And I was like, dude, if I'd have known that you brought, you know, um, let me give you my email. That way I can, because on Facebook, I go ahead and use my real name. But on YouTube, I can, because I talk about Alcoholics Anonymous, I will not use my real name on YouTube. Uh, outside of YouTube or any other platform, I'll use, I just use I would use my real name, my everyday name, and my email address is it's all lowercase, numeric, and then it's princemagnum1 at gmail.com, and that is all lowercase, no special underscores, nothing like that. It's just Prince Magnum and then numerical one at gmail.com. Holler at me, okay? Believe me, I would love to. Yes, I'm sure he's probably got some amazing tips that I could use because, good old Spirit. But anyhow, so after you get all registered, the next thing you're going to do, you're going to go back up to your project car and you're going to do some spot work, okay? Because depending on how far you drove, if say you even live on a gravel road, you're going to need to touch up your project, okay? And this is the stuff that I recommend for doing the touch up work, okay? Make sure, again, take your glass cleaner, okay? Do it, even though you did it the day before, do it again, okay? Wipe down um, wipe down your windows, your windshield, do the inside, do the outside, do it all, okay? Which brings me to make sure for every project car, for everyone, you've got a brand new one of these, okay? Or the equivalent to one full one of these. I'm telling you right now, if you don't take these, you're gonna regret it. Okay, so shop towels are a must. So you're gonna take some shop towels. You're gonna spray down the windows and touch it up. Okay, do it again, even though you did the windows the day before. Especially if you live on a gravel road, especially if you drove a good distance, or if you live in a major metropolitan area where it's just filthy, dirty, nasty all the time, wipe everything down, okay? I'm telling you, you're going to be glad that you did. If you cannot afford these, because sometimes this stuff can get a little expensive, do I really got to say it? Regular old paper towels will work, okay? Now, if you did your job really well the day before on your chrome or your polished aluminum, You should just be able to wipe those down. But if for whatever reason you're not comfortable with it, take your polish with you, okay? Take your polish with you. I'm telling you right now, that's going to be one of the smartest things that you could do is take that stuff with you. Immediately take some shop towels, some sort of disposable shop towels or paper towels. Either one will work. The shop towels are a little bit better, but the paper towels will do just fine. But just take double that, okay? And you can get this stuff. You can get these for like $1, sometimes 69 cents, depending on where you live, depending on your Walmart and what they might carry with you, carry in their store. So just carry that sort of stuff with you automatically. The next thing that you should have on you is some sort of all-purpose cleaner. And I know, yes, you just washed it the day before. That's to get the worst of it. You're going to want an all-purpose cleaner, kind of that you can get an all-purpose cleaner that's in purple at your local Dollar Tree, and it literally this big bucket thing. Really, unusual. I tell you what. Let me get Sean. If you're still on the live, could you post my email for me, if you would so kindly? If you're still on the live, it's a specific way it's got to go in, and that may have been what happened, but it just, no. Take out the underscore between the one, and it's got to be a lowercase p. That's where it went wrong. And that's what happened. You were close. You were close. It's underscore. Thanks, brother. It's going to be in there. If anyone watches the live long enough, they're going to get my email. Matter of fact, real quick, I'll tell you this. I actually had someone email me the other day. They took it from the live and just said they wanted to talk to me, but they were almost afraid that I was getting too big, that I might not take the time for them. And I'm like, I hope I never get so big that I won't take the time for anybody who's kind enough to watch anything on my channel, for that matter. I appreciate them. Anybody who's kind enough to look at, so I don't care if I got 10 million, I'm going to take the time. Okay. That's a lot of people, but I will find the time. Yes, it is. It's growing pretty big. You know, it's because of you guys, but anyhow, so take your window clean. That's it. That's it right there. That's the one. Thank you, honey. My beautiful, lovely wife, Princess Fayru in the live. Local, yeah, I keep saying we're a grassroots, Midwest local channel that's growing real big. I know if you get a little further south, some people you're in the South. And calm down, man. Not unless you get in the boot heel or you in the South. Okay. So definitely, again, shop towels or paper towels, whatever you can afford. Make sure that you get an all-purpose cleaner. Now, I'm going to tell y'all a little secret, okay? We tried this orange cleaner that's from Dollar Tree, and Project Spirits paint does not like this stuff. It almost leaves like an orange tinge to it, like an orange dye on it. And it's not super bad where it like turns her orange, but you can kind of see it when the sunlight hits it. So I don't recommend that stuff. Stay with the purple stuff if you go to Dollar Tree. You don't, and this is just in case you say you hit like a mud puddle or something splashes on the car or something like that. Spray it down with your all-purpose cleaner, wipe it off, and you're back to show car look, okay? And if you use a wax, that stuff does not clean the wax off right away. You've just got to really keep rubbing that stuff on there. So Project Spirit is actually so old. Using car wax on her just really wouldn't. So bad there, it would not make sense to use a wax on her. But on that taillight panel, we're going to definitely have to do that. We're going to have to start using a wax on her, especially now because we redid that panel. And the wax actually kind of helps, that protective coating, and it keeps the metal from flexing. Well, it keeps the paint from, breaking as the, temperature changes. Anyhow, I'm kidding. All righty. So now that we've talked about that, talked about, the all-purpose cleaner, some sort of way to wipe it off, take your polishes with you, take your now that we've done that, another secret, in case it might rain, be sure to take microfiber towels with you. You can get these cheap. Again, Dollar Tree. Okay? You're going to be your best friend. Okay? Trust me. A lot of stuff that I use in car shows, I'll get it from Dollar Tree, and it makes Project Spirit just pop. I'm not kidding you. Because everyone's like, man, she looks amazing after all these years. That's the original paint. Yeah, you can see the surface rust coming right through. Wow. I would have figured that, all that stuff. In case, yeah, it'll rain. Our weathermen are really screwed here in Missouri. If you're in like California, the weatherman's got an easy job. It's going to be sunny today. Really? It was sunny yesterday. So, they got an easy job. Alaska, it's freaking cold. They got an easy job up there. It's going to snow again today. Missouri, we haven't had this happen in a long time, but I've heard of snow in June, okay? Actually, I have seen that once or twice in my lifetime. Snowflakes in June, okay? All right, thank you, A&R. Again, you guys are awesome, hooking me up, now that we've talked about that, take some microfiber towels with you. Take a couple of them. If you get them from Dollar Tree, they are $1 a piece. If you get these smaller ones like this, I know at the AutoZone where I'm at, you can get these for like $1 for two. So these are really, really, really nice. Okay, but don't use them to clean any dirt or grime. And there's a reason why. These are great for picking up dirt and grime. So good, in fact, that sometimes it doesn't come out in the washer. So then when you go to wipe it down again later, nothing but sandpaper at that point. Nothing but sandpaper. So don't use it to wipe off rainwater when it rains. It'll do just fine. Okay. So now that we've talked about all that, touching up what, engine-based stuff, there are people that do some ridiculous stuff to their engine bay, okay? And to keep my engine bay, keep the engine looking clean, this is it. Brake cleaner. I just spray it right on the engine, all the nasties come off, and it looks good, okay? Especially, use carburetor cleaner or brake cleaner. You got to be careful with the carburetor cleaner on painted surfaces. The brake cleaner doesn't mess with the painted surfaces as much, but if you've got a new, a late model show car, please do not spray water or steam onto your engine. That is electronic parts. You will fry components, okay? So please don't fricking do that. I knew of a guy just a couple of years ago, Dodge Durango. He's like, I'm going to power wash my engine. Sure you are. He had to buy a new onboard ECU. He fried a bunch of stuff, fuse box, all that. Yeah, he fried a bunch of it. So do not do that. Brake cleaner. Another one, if you ever, right. This is just, well, you would almost think this is common sense stuff. So if you're one of the engines get dirty, okay, they're meant to, they get dirty, road grime, oil, shoot, putting oil in the engine, you're going to spill it everywhere, even if you got a funnel, okay? It's just the nature of the beast. Engines get dirty. If you want to clean them off, and I'm fickle about this, so I like to clean my engine. 1 can of this is no one in this chat is that, I'm telling you, but you would be surprised how many people out there that I've had to tell, don't you do that again to your vehicle. You will fry things. And then it's like, get you a can of this. And then when you show them this, they're like, Really? Brake cleaner? That's it? That is it. If you want to make your engine pop and look clean, this is your best friend. This is going to be your best friend right here, brake cleaner. And I'll spray it all over that dang thing, and she's good to go. Okay. Now that we've talked about that, because we are talking about disposable stuff like the shop towels, the disposable shop towels or paper towels, this one should almost be common sense, but a lot of people don't think about this. Take some trash bags with you, because you may not be situated at the car show where you parked at the car show to have a trash can nearby where you could just kind of go over there and throw that stuff in there. Take a trash bag with you. And I know that doesn't sound like a super big deal, but I'm going to tell you right now, a lot of places do not like, they have a problem with the hot rods, okay? The classics and the antiques and things like that, because these people, they'll tear up our town. They have no respect for us. That's kind of the general consensus. So if you leave a lot of litter around, a lot of times those places are going to be kind of reluctant to let us come back. I do have a Discord, but I'm putting the finishing touches on it. But I do have a Discord now. I set one up, so let me finish. I've got too many irons in the fire, but yes, I will do a Discord because I expect you all to send me what you are doing. Yes. Send me your projects. Tell me what you're working on. We will. Are we getting to that? Yes, I will be posting the link, brother. Trust me. It'll be one of the things that I'll be doing is where I'll be going to copy the link when I go live, and then I'll be actually putting it down in the actual the where I put all the information, what we're talking about, in the video or in the live. So that's just kind of, it takes some trash bags with you. But if you don't want to, if you're don't want to take a whole lot of trash bags with you, these are free when you go grocery shopping. Okay, these are free. So throw all your trash in it, tie it off, and when you get to somewhere where you have a trash can, throw it in there. These you can throw in the trunk. Nobody really at a car show. No one really pays attention to the trunk, so you can take a bunch. Take a bunch of those. As a matter of fact, I actually have a sliding drawer that's portable, and I'll load all this stuff in there. But you don't have to do that. You can just get an old milk crate, or just buy an old, buy a tote or something. Shoot, if you find one that someone's throwing out, load it up with what you need, even if it's busted up or something like that. One of those stupid storage totes that maybe the lid's busted and they're throwing it out, and shoot, I'll take that off your hand. Load it up with all your car stuff. You gotta pay 15 cents for that. That's ridiculous. That's redunculous. But you guys get the idea. Shoot, I even seen in one case, I seen one person actually load like all these battery operated, one of these battery operated, trying to think. Hang on. Come on, brain cell. Had the like custom bag, had this car bag full of like these battery operated appliances that they use to blow the water off of their car after it rained during a car show. And I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? Yeah, I almost dropped the F-bomb right there. I'm like, are you kidding me? You don't need all of that. A couple of microfibers will do the job. I'm like, that is ridiculous. And then they have these special chamois. And these people, they're the ones that have like $50,000 tied up in a brand new car. And then they've got this. I'm like, well, I'm glad you got that kind of money. And I mean, they're nice people. Well, they travel with another person a lot of times. And the ones that I'm thinking of got this beautiful looking late model Dodge Challenger. But sitting right next to him is someone with another Challenger. And those people are usually not the friendliest. And we're going to get to that in a moment. some stuff, some other stuff that you need to know for the car shows. So now that you've done all of your kind of last minute touch up work on the car, the next thing that you should, right, right. Um, the next thing that you need to do is if you've got any display stuff, um, there's this guy that usually comes to the Azalea Festival, and he brings this fully restored 1969 Pontiac GTO Judge. It is restored. I mean, we're talking the bolts have the matching numbers and things like that. So when he gets there, immediately this almost like yeah, there's those folks. Um, which, real quick, since you guys are here on the live, if your area starts running out of toilet paper, I'm gonna tell you a little secret. Take a roll of toilet paper, and get yourself a bunch of these because this is still right now at AutoZone. You can get like a pack. You can get like two of these for $6. Nothing recent. Nothing recent. Princess Faye is going to be redoing the pinstriping on Project Lena. I can't tell you no more. Okay, can't tell you no more. Just leave it at that. Uh, well, I can tell you a little bit of this. You know that dual pinstripe tape that we used on Project Spirit for her pinstriping? Well, I bought a whole bunch of that. I bought $20 worth. So I'm going to leave it at that. I can't tell you no more. She's the artist on this one. I don't even fully know. But anyhow, here's a life hack because you could buy a total of two rolls of this, and it comes with two of the. Well, you could buy two of these, and then it'll come with two of these for $6. Okay, I'm not freaking kidding you. At your local AutoZone right now, and prices might vary a little bit where you live, but then you take your toilet paper roll, line it up, and slice, and you have literally like top drawer stuff, better than even 2-ply, that you can use. You know, shh, don't tell anybody that. I got my stash. So it's a little secret, and if you don't roll it up, I mean, it won't clog the toilet. So there you go. But anyhow, the life hacks. You live in Australia, man. You people in Australia, I'm going to say it right now. You guys have got an amazing car culture. I'm not kidding you. You guys have got a freaking awesome car culture down there. I love you guys' car culture. You guys do stuff with the inline six that's in Project Spirit that is freaking phenomenal. We throw away those 6 cylinders. You guys turn them in. Well, I tried. I tried. Um, well, no, these hacks, like with the cleaning your engine for a car show, that's just, really, guys, you know. But anyhow, so, um, right on, right. Yeah, I'm a Midwest Missouri kind of guy. So those are some cool hacks that you guys can use. Um, you know, so once you get all of that, this is optional, but I mean, obviously because of the Prince Magnum channel, this is kind of a no-brainer for me. But if you go to it, hey, love you too, brother. Love you too. You guys are awesome. Um, but if you go to a car show, it's almost like take a camera with you, okay? Take a good quality camera with you because, and I hate to be that guy. Your car is not the only one at that car show. Go mingle and get some pictures And don't be afraid to ask it, go up, hey, can I take a picture of your ride? It's amazing. Obviously, try to avoid the license plate. But most of them will say, yeah, man, get all the pictures you want. I even had at one car show where the guy, I'm like, can I get pictures of your amazing ride? It's just beautiful. He's like, man, he said, let me hold the camera. You sit behind the wheel. And I was there with Project Spirit. I mean, this guy was freaking awesome. So if that gives you, a lot of, so if you do enough car shows, I mean, there are people that, I mean, practically let you just, you know, you say, can I get pictures? It's an amazing ride. It's beautiful. And they're like, man, get all you want. And they'll even sit there and talk to you while you're getting pictures or getting video. For the record, that's one of the reasons why when I do car show videos, I have to edit out a lot of stuff. I am not Mad Maxing my car. Oh my God, no. Um, I would A&R. I would love to get my hands on one of you guys' '70s Ford Falcons. Um, oh yeah, she's beautiful, man. A&R, I would love to get my hands on one of you guys' like '74 Ford Falcons. Oh my God, they're beautiful, and just completely customize it. Just go through it and just have all sorts of fun. You guys got some amazing cars down there, and the stuff you guys do with four doors is phenomenal. I'm telling. And for anyone here in the States that has not seen what they do in Australia, and I'm not talking about Mighty Car Mods. I'm talking about the regular rank and file people down there in Australia. They have uh, right. I would love to get my hands on some of you guys' old Holdens too. Those are beautiful cars too. Um, you know, the car culture down there is just amazing, amazing. And I would love to spend time just, getting some of those old Aussie cars up here and just tearing into them and just turning them into amazing show cars. They're beautiful. Yeah. For those that do not know, the Interceptor from Mad Max is a 1974 is the 1974 Ford Falcon, which here in the States the Ford Falcon went away after 1970. So if you ever wondered about that, oh man, I'm telling you, you guys got the awesome car culture. You know, here in the States, oh, it's got to be V8s in the classics. No, it don't. They're doing awesome stuff down there in Aussie. Uh, some stuff with the inline sixes. They're doing. Someone from Australia had to tell me that the Buick 3.8 is actually worth building. I'm like, shoot, dude. The ones we got up here are dogs. So you're telling me you guys do amazing stuff with those down there? Yeah, man. We do all sorts of crazy stuff with that engine. I'm like, shoot, man. If I'd have known that, if the things that if I'd have known that, because up here, I'm telling you, you guys got the awesome car culture. You guys just take our American engines that we throw away. Hi, honey. You guys take those American engines that we just throw out and turn them into real monsters that are just freaking. Okay, honey. Well, just tell me, when you're done, and I'll be right there and yum 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 yum. But no, well, up here, everyone's going, Coyote, the Coyote 5.0 or LS, and I'm old school, okay? And to me, those are not show engines to me. And even if I was doing a drag, okay, baby. I'll probably have to. I'll be doing a couple this week. I know definitely I'll be doing a couple this week. Um, I know tomorrow I'm taking the day off and it's just loaded content. Legend of Zelda. Legend of Zelda content. Real quick. I'm going to say it right now. When we show both cars at a car show, when Princess Faye and everyone gets excited about Project Spirit because they haven't seen a Maverick in a long time. But when they find out that Project Lena is her show car, immediately I might as well hang it up. Project Spirit is no longer the star at that point. And we're talking old school, the old school Legend of Zelda from 1986, the original, no joke. Beat that game many a times, many a times. Actually, on one save file, I'm getting ready to beat the second quest. And I have a whole theory on that. But no, again, Australia has the awesome car culture. I think I left my mechanical pencil in the other in the living room, baby.
Okay, wait, this will be fine.
Oh, all right. But yeah, so now that you guys are awesome. But then once one of the things that I'm gonna no, we're talking original NES, the original NES. Yes.
Okay.
Don't run ahead, baby.
It looked clean, so I just
go for it. Go for it. Real quick, something else that I forgot to mention that you need to take with you. Take your proper fluids for your project. Honey, you might want to open the door. Galaxy wants out.
Yep, I know. I was in the middle of that.
Right. So take the proper fluids just in case. Yeah, I had the gold cartridge too. Had the foil gold cartridge, and actually had the foil cartridge for Legend of Zelda 2 as well. I don't think I'm going to be reviewing that one. I have never beaten that game. Never. Not even close. I've gotten all the way up to like the second boss, and then circumstances usually keep me from going any further. But no, I've never beaten that game. But be sure to take the proper fluids for your vehicle: motor oil, transmission fluid, or in my case, I still use gear oil in the transmission. Yeah, I have an actual gearbox for my standard transmission, so it uses literally the same gear oil in the rear end as the same in the transmission. But take their proper fluids, because if you drove a good distance, it wouldn't hurt. It's your project car, your baby. Take those things anyways. But a lot of people don't think to take that with them. So take your display stuff. I was started. Actually, it's changed over the years. I can only get like the 85, 120 or something like that. I'd have to look at the bottle, but yeah, the same gear oil. Basically, there's like a gear oil that kind of double. It'll work in her rear end, because the original one they don't even make anymore. So I have to kind of change that around. Real quick, before there was power steering fluid, Project Spirits. Awesome. Thank you, ANR. Real quick, in the old days, before power steering fluid, power steering pumps used to use automatic transmission fluid. So Project Spirits power steering pump uses Type F automatic transmission fluid. That's not a joke. For years, the old Saginaw power steering pumps for your GMs would use Dextron Mercon. You just put it, if you try, right? All right. So when I talk about display stuff, you guys seen? We talked about the display board that we use at car shows. Set that stuff out. Some people take past trophies with them, and it's like, why? Some people will make a model of their car, or they'll take a photo album. So display stuff like that. After I might just I'm gonna hook up with them. Trust me, trust me. Um, I can always use extra help. Believe me. And he might be able to get some of the stuff that I can't get for Project Spirit. He might be able to get some of that stuff, or know some people or something like that. And that's the thing about the car world is, the real cool ones in the car world will try to lead you around and help you find everything. Third Gen 83, he's one that he hooked me up with some people to find some of those parts. Right, you were telling me about that. I'm gonna have to go over to his channel and check it out too. So you want to get out your display stuff, and I started talking about that restored 69 Judge. That guy will actually set up these posts and have like almost like these straps that connect, almost like the rope. Do not cross that rope. And he actually has a display sign that someone has to bring in another vehicle because it won't keep it in the trunk, literally saying, "Do not cross that rope. Don't cross the rope." Because there is so much money tied up in that restored car, that restored GTO Judge, that don't even get close to it, don't even breathe in its direction. As a matter of fact, that guy will drive it into the show, but it's trailered to the show, and then he pulls it off the trailer and finishes driving it in the rest of the way. If that's any indication how accurately restored that car is. So anything like that, be sure you set it up before you go wandering off and mingling or anything like that. Definitely set that up. And if you've got something that expensive there, you better be parking your bud. Take a lawn chair at that point. Don't wander away. Alrighty, I will. I will. Thank you again, A&R, hooking me up. Hooking me up. So these are just some of the things that I take with me. And now, these are things that are not necessarily on any list, but if you're gonna, car shows usually start where I live at about 9 o'clock in the morning. You start registering at about 8:30, and then 9 o'clock the show itself starts. Then, usually between 1 and 3 o'clock, the judging is over. They start going around, about 11 o'clock, and it usually takes them a couple hours to get through with the judging, depending on how big the show is. And then at about 1, 2, maybe 3 o'clock, they're doing the awards ceremony. And then after that, some people stick around for a couple more hours. Right, right. They stick around for a couple hours and that sort of thing. So after that, pretty much, you guys kind of get where I'm going with this. It's one of those deals that, um, you're going to be there for a while. So Princess Faye and I actually made a list of things that you need to take with you that is not exactly car related, but you want to take it with you. Obviously, as I mentioned earlier, take your entry fee. There was actually one time that I had set money aside and I forgot to take it with me. But if it had not been for the fact that I already had extra money, we'd have been in a world of hurt. We wouldn't have been able to enter. So make sure you got that on you, okay? Your entry fee, okay? And take some spending cash with you as well. Budget yourself, okay? But take some spending cash with you. Especially if you decide to eat out that day, which a lot of people do. They'll eat the vendor food that might be at a get together like that, and it's a lot of times it's not bad. It's not bad on its prices. Sometimes it can get a little high depending on where you go. So, with that being said, pack a lunch and some snacks along with your favorite drinks. Okay, no alcohol though, because at car shows, again, if you start getting wasted, and number one, you got to drive. And number two, if you're drunk and falling down and things like that, no drugs, no alcohol, nothing like that. A lot of towns will be reluctant to let that car show come back. And one of the things that I learned in Alcoholics Anonymous that I'm going to pass on to you guys for the car show scene: leave it better than you found it, because if you don't, they're not going to let you. They're not going to let the car show come back the next year, and you're hurting the car culture in that area. So you don't want to do that. Leave it better than you found it, because there's still a lot of hatred towards us hot rodders, and you'll kind of find the basically like a lot of people from the 70s. Oh, they use a lot of gas. No, they don't. Not always. Then there's some of the people that that got the mentality of like the early 2000s that use too much gas and they're obnoxious and things like that. So 70s people who were like in their 30s during the 70s, going to kind of have that mindset that that hot rodders are bad people. And then people who were in their 20s, a lot of time, in their late teens, at like the early 2000s, when 9/11 happened, they're going to have that mentality too. They're going to kind of have that mentality. There was a time, and there's still some people who kind of think this way, but there was a time that the car culture in this country was dying. And I know a lot of people hate on the series, but the Fast and Furious series did wonders for the car culture in here in the United States, because it really was dying, and especially in the classic car end of the car culture here in the U.S. If it had not been for that series, we would have been in a world hurt. The car culture was really dying out here, and I know we kind of hate on that series, but I don't spend a whole lot of time hating, because if it had not been for those movies, it would have been a totally different ballgame. There would have been no car culture really to speak of here in the U.S., because 9/11 really killed it. It killed it really. So kind of tuck that away, hang on to that. If it hadn't been for the Fast and Furious franchise, this would have been a whole new ball game. I'd had to move to Australia. So just kind of tuck that away. But again, take snacks with you, especially on the drive. But a little secret: be careful of those snacks that leave a lot of crumbs, unless you kind of lay out stuff on your lap that you can kind of fold up like else. See what I mean? How indispensable this stuff is? I mean, you put it in your plastic bag, get to the show, that stuff goes in the trunk. See what I mean? Because if you got a lot of crumbs and everything all over, you get the idea. Yeah, we actually have a cooler that we will take for car shows. Um, that we'll load it up with sandwiches and everything when we get there. We're anybody that goes with us, like when you'll actually see him, my buddy T-Bone, when we did the video on the front disc brake conversion. He was in. He helped me a great deal in that video. Um, he's my front. He does the front end. He knows the front end of Project Spirit even better than me. If that's any indication, he knows all that stuff. He's really good. He's really good at doing suspension work. So he was the one that we worked on it together and everything. So pack a lunch, take a cooler, and again, those freezer packs, next to nothing. He was with us, and the one person that I don't like to mention on the channel anymore, that we don't have any dealings with anymore. The one YouTuber that lost his original channel. Don't beat cats, folks. Don't beat cats. He was with us, and of course handed out a bunch of sandwiches, and of course there was a buddy of mine there, Bruce, who's the store manager at the Fredericktown, the hotshot store manager at Fredericktown McDonald's. And I've known Bruce for years. He showed his Eclipse, which was in a horrible accident, and they totaled it out. I think he's got something else now. I haven't seen what project he's got now. Just gorgeous. His car did not trophy that day. It's kind of a shame because it was a good looking car, a real good looking car. It should have trophied, but it didn't. Actually, a lot of people felt that day that Project Lena should have trophied, but they threw her in a class with nothing but late model Mustangs and Camaros. And of course, um, where we live, people just kind of, so Project Lena didn't even stand a chance. Um, so if that's any indication, just kind of get used, you know, tuck that away. So those are just some things that you guys would need. Now, real quick, when you're doing a car show, and especially when you're showing a car, one of the most important things that I have learned is go there with a good attitude. If the judges have to ask you something about your car and you start acting like, uh, like the know-it-all, and you start rubbing people the wrong way at that show, I am not kidding you. Even if you should win some sort of a trophy in your class, forget it, hang it up. Your attitude just cost you that trophy. I actually seen where and I talked about this in an old video. This is way back when I was in a car show where we were showing our 96 Mustang and Project Beauty. And Project Beauty trophied in her class, I think third place in her class. And there was actually a guy who should have, and there was a couple of Mustangs that, because we were in an all Mustang category, there was a couple of Mustangs that were, they were in better shape. So they trophied. So they got first, second, and we took third. But the person that probably should have at least, that technically should have taken first, and kind of pushed it down and pushed us out of third place. He had such a nasty attitude. I mean, this dude's attitude was so poor, and they practically told him to get off the lot. They told him to get lost, basically. So he ended up leaving early because his attitude was so poor, and he didn't trophy. And the sad part was it was at West County High School, not too far away from where we live, where HQ is. And that being said, he was across, basically he went to that high school. So he was actually a student at that high school, and they basically told him, GTFO, we don't want you here with that attitude. So out he went. Basically, he got thrown out of the car show because his attitude was that nasty. He wasn't fighting nasty, but his attitude, how he was talking to people, was just really poor. So just bear that in mind. Don't go there with a nasty attitude, and don't be crawling all over the vehicle. It's just stuff like common sense stuff. But again, I've seen people, that they should have taken their class, but basically they weren't going to trophy. They A lot of times I just kind of let them just be there, sort of thing, with that nasty attitude. But that's just a more extreme example of it, um, because a lot of people felt that guy was just embarrassing the school. At that point, one of the students just acting the fool. So, but other times they just kind of let them be there, but they will not let them. Um, they won't. They're not going to trophy in their class. That's just kind of how it is. So just bear that in mind. Just heads up. Just one of those things. Bring a good attitude. I know that's not exactly on. I don't think you can Google that, but bring a good attitude with you to a car show. It's just kind of one of those things. So, anybody got any questions for me? Any inquiries? I mean, I hope I made it pretty cut and dry on this knowledge. You know? See, my boy Think Different. He's actually from the area I live in. What's your question, honey? She's gonna get me with something good. I'm extremely hungry. I'm extremely hungry. Princess Faye, oh, I can already smell it. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna be jumping off this live here pretty soon, and I'm gonna devour whatever she puts in front of me. Um, just for the record, uh, I do a lot of cooking, yes, and I love to try to make Princess Faye these nice extravagant meals, but there's something special whenever she says, "I'm gonna cook for you." And I'm gonna tell you all a funny story real quick. Um, there was I just done a 15-day stretch at my job. Oh, yeah, we're gonna do that again. We're gonna do that again this year. Matter of fact, real quick, A&R is awesome. You guys are awesome. I'll tell you a little secret. Uh, I have a video where we did shish kebabs, and I show you guys how to do that. I just have not loaded that video. It's ready to go though. It's really good. Oh my God, that was good that day. And Princess Faye was like, "Oh my God, this is gonna be good." Yeah. But anywho, um, what was I gonna tell you guys? I was gonna tell you guys something really. Oh, I'd worked a 15-day stretch at work. The maintenance man that I was working with, they got rid of him. I don't want to. I don't want to. I'm not looking for a beat down. So what are we making in the next live? My signature series tomato sauce that will stretch for a good distance, and then we're going to make up some pasta. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Careful, it just came out. It's super hot.
Ooh. Guys, look at that. Look at that. That is going to be amazing. So I'm not going to be on here from barbecue. Well, you know what I'm thinking though? You're on the right track. You know what we're gonna have to do? I'm gonna show you guys, I'm gonna have to show you guys again live how to grill tuna steaks and salmon steaks. The pickled jalapenos. Yes, you remembered. You guys are awesome. So he did, I ended up having to work 15 days straight, and in that time I had to train a new guy, and it took, had him all trained and everything. So at the end of the 15-day stretch, I had my first 2 days off, and Princess Faye came in, because I normally regardless, I wake up at like 2:30 in the morning. She comes in and sees if I'm awake, and yes, I was. And she basically gave me breakfast in bed. I'm not ashamed to admit this. I started crying while I was eating my breakfast in bed. I started crying because after all that I had just done and everything, my wife has taken care of me. I started bawling like a baby. She may not know it, but I did. I started crying and everything. My wife did this for me. No joke. No joke. So, all right, guys. Thank you all so much. Right. Thank you all so much for being here with me in the live. We will be going live again here in a little while. We got something special planned for you guys. You guys are going to get a big kick out of this. It is going to be off the chain, and we're going to have a lot of fun. Okay. I can't tell you no more. I will be posting it, what we're doing. That way you guys know. But all I'm going to say is that this is going to be a blast down memory lane for me. Okay. It's been a while since I've got to do something like this. I'll just leave it at that. All right. We're probably going to go live probably, let's see, what the heck time is it now? I'm thinking probably in about 2.5 hours, thereabouts. I'll post the exact time here in a little bit. I'm just going to see how, I'm gonna stuff my face, and then we're gonna kind of get everything together. And then when I get an idea, I'll definitely post an exact time when we're gonna go live and try to make it as easy as possible for everybody. Oh, real quick, check out the t-shirt. Torque Diesel and Auto, the guys that work on Project Lena. When we can't do it, they can. Yeah, that's who we take it to. Right here in Bonne Terre. Amazing guys. So there's their shout out, and can't thank them enough. Okay, you know, it's one of the things. Yeah, I'll post it. Like I'm still working on all that stuff. I haven't had time, you know. You're gonna have to stay on me now, ANR. All righty. So that brings us to our usual spot. Again, we will be going live later. Um, again, thank you all so much for being here with me in this self quarantine that's going on here at HQ. So as always, get out there and work on a project as much as you can, idle hands and a creative mind go together like oil and water. Or as I used to say, they make horrible bedfellows. Uh, you know, if you have a sweetheart, sweep them off their feet, do something special for them today. And as always, for all of you out there, no one out there has told you that they love you today. Prince Magnum does. God bless you and have a happy 24. Thank you.